DNVR Broncos live, coming to you from the DNVR Bar on the corner of Colfax and York, where Henry and I are lucky to have any voice at all.
It's rough. It's really rough.
I actually have a question about that because, Henry, can you just talk a little more?
Yeah. I am Henry. I drank a few beers.
5'9".
5'9", 69 inches.
Fact,
more
fun
fun.
fact.
The other thing, I'm trying to decide. Well, I was trying to decide, should I eat something before this? And I went with no.
Before the show.
Yeah, now I'm kind of regretting.
Bad.
Yeah,
I'm saying that. It's like, it was a mistake, but I brought my water, and we're gonna have a good show.
Water smart. You're learning kind of lessons as you get older. Day by day. This is one that you're gonna take the L on. But Ryan, why I wanted Henry to talk was, it seems like Henry cheered louder than you last night because
no, he's just softer.
Because your voice sounds fine. Henry's clearly. I mean, I like feel it in my bones.
Thank you.
you.
I just have better vocal cords. If you think about it, I do 3 times as many podcasts as Henry.
Wow.
So my vocal cords are 3 times as strong.
Do you want to defend yourself, Henry?
Yeah, I talk a lot when I'm home alone.
I'm sure you
Fair.
do.
I'll talk for all those
See,
hours.
that's a fun fact. I talk to myself.
Yeah. It is a fun fact, isn't it? It was a night.
I don't know about fun. It's kind of a... Maybe that is one that you keep inside. I think that's one you keep inside. Keep to yourself.
That was a night. Wow. Probably my favorite Nuggets game I've ever been to.
Wow.
Absolutely lit in the stadium.
Oh, yeah.
90-10 at least Nuggets fans.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe
It
95-5.
was pretty crazy.
Obviously, if there were Lakers fans there, maybe you just would have never heard them. They probably even left before they made the comeback.
Which is so disappointing. Like, I'm walking out on the stairs, I'm talking to every Laker fan I can find, but there just weren't that many.
I only popped off on one guy.
Really?
I really popped off on him.
You're popping off left and right.
Yeah.
In this series.
Yeah, I hate the Lakers.
Me too.
It's like an unfiltered, uncensored, unchained hate.
More than any AFC West team.
Yeah, probably.
Wow,
I think
that's
fair.
wild.
Yeah. I mean, maybe more
I'm
than
definitely not
anyone
like that.
that isn't named Nebraska.
Wow.
So Nebraska still takes the cake.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That was crazy.
But maybe, it is close. I really feel that way about the Lakers. And this one guy was just like, even when we were kicking their ass, he was running his mouth. And so at the end of the game, I had some pent-up
Well, then what
things.
was he like for the fourth quarter before, obviously, the very end?
He was
Even
literally
worse.
saying the series is over. Wow, we were up like 14.
Yeah.
Oh, man. You know what? Because you guys were there. I'm really happy to hear the 90-10 because I was worried. I think you or Henry threw out the 10%, and I definitely took the over on Lakers fans just because that's what I thought it was going to pan out to be. I got to say, though, the Nuggets dropped the ball with, not the players, with these red shirts on TV. They did not pop at all. It was really bad. And then you also couldn't tell. It really made it so you couldn't tell like who were Nuggets fans and who weren't. So if you're going to do the shirts, let's do yellow. Let's do
Honestly,
white. Let's just
only
do the
white and
classics.
black.
You can't.
Then there we go. That's fine. But don't try this other color again.
I say just retire the shirts.
Yeah, I do too.
Like people don't wear them. It just looks bad. It's embarrassing.
I don't know that. Didn't they do white earlier in the playoffs?
did. And it worked.
The
It was
white
incredible.
one worked, yeah.
Yes, so that was great. And,
It's just such a
and
gamble.
on TV, it did pop the white.
Yeah, and I think it was like kind of a cool idea to be like, okay, round 1 we'll do white, game 1 of round 2 we'll do blue, game 1 of round 3 we'll do red, and then who knows what they have planned for the finals.
Let's go back to white.
Sure, but I'm with Henry that for a long time people complained that the Nuggets weren't doing shirts.
Yeah.
And there's not really a leg to stand on anymore if they decided not to do it next playoff.
If you said white though worked, and it definitely worked on TV,
you could go
why
back
would
to
you
it.
not do white?
I don't think it was the color though. Like I think it was
Also,
just
people really
people
don't-
didn't wear 'em.
color.
People really didn't like that the Nuggets wore blue jerseys while they did a
When
whiteout.
Yeah.
So, anyways,
Yeah.
it was incredible. Only popped off on one Lakers fan.
Why?
Some good restraint.
I had the time of my life.
I was.
Every single one of them, like every little Laker group, I'd be like, "Yeah, go Lakers!" Right, and like that sort of stuff. I got flipped off over and over again.
I'm like 10% afraid I'm gonna pop off on some Lakers fan. They're gonna be like, "Love the show, man," and like walk away.
Yeah, see, I'm not scared of that at all. The best part was like the scooter at the end. We're like scootering away, and like you just go by Laker fans. You can just little drive-bys.
You went by me too.
I did. Yeah. It was
Were you
incredible.
walking, or
Yeah.
were you just on a slow scooter?
Walking to Illegal Pete's. I did a little Illegal Pete's. Actually,
Pre
a
and
nugget
post.
sandwich. Illegal Pete's before, Illegal Pete's after.
Ooh, man.
They have such good deals on their drinks. It's crazy.
And including like free
Yep.
when you go to the Nuggets game.
I also, I got a drink at Illegal Pete's. Then I guess, went to Brooklyn's right before the game. And I got the same drink at both places. $3 cheaper at Illegal Pete's than it was at Brooklyn's.
Illegal
it.
Pizza is
Brooklyn's is
just
awful.
so
Like
affordable.
33% cheaper.
Yeah.
So affordable
Brooklyn's is
and also
bad.
delicious.
Delicious. Yep. So shout out Illegal Pete's. Shout out the Nuggets. I have to say, this will be the last thing I say about this. It is absolutely hilarious seeing fans of a supposedly proud franchise taking a moral victory. Like,
Yeah.
moral victories is like what we as Buffs fans were doing in like 2012 when we only lost by 30. Mm-hmm. That's what they sound like.
How they just came back.
Yeah, they're just like, oh man, you got to feel good about this one. I'm like, this is the Western Conference Finals and you're down 1-0. What are you talking
Michael
about?
Malone made it pretty clear after the game that that the Nuggets have a lot of things to improve, but it's really good to do it after a win. So I think Michael Malone was kind of driving that narrative against those fans who are trying to claim the moral victory.
And they played, they had to play one of their cards. And now the Nuggets have a whole day to prepare for that change. Like, I actually think it might have been a negative for them that they came back and lost because they got hope. So they're like, okay, this is where we're going to pull out one of our adjustments. They showed the card. Now the same way that Lakers fans were saying AD was going to lock down Joker, which that's a tough one. Now they're saying, oh, Rui's got him now. Like, no one has him ever.
I think that might be just a tad bit of too much of a spin job by saying it's bad that the Lakers made a comeback. But I do think it's a really good point that now the Nuggets have 48 hours to adjust to that. And yes, your overall point is 100% true.
Yeah.
That no one's going to be able to shut down Jokic.
At one point, he had 12 rebounds and the Lakers had 3.
He had 10 rebounds with 8 minutes into the game.
I made 2 bets. One was Jokic over 12.5 rebounds. It hit in the first quarter. And then the other one was Bruce Brown over 10.5 points, and that also hit in the first half.
Easy
Easy money. Okay. The Broncos.
This will be just as fun.
Yes, it will.
Wouldn't you love to see that sort of beat down to a Los Angeles team in Denver this year?
Yes, I
for the
would.
Broncos.
Yes. Unfortunately, the one that we play doesn't have any fans.
Imagine
so it's
if
not as sweet.
True. Imagine if Russ just puts up like 129 points. Wouldn't that be awesome?
No, I mean the equivalent.
Speaking of Russ, he was smiling last night.
he was having the time.
You
of his
know
life.
who wasn't smiling?
Who?
DJ Jones. Every single photo I sent. So maybe he was just caught
Is he a
on bad
Lakers fan?
times. I don't know, but there's one picture that RG actually sent in our chat where Russ and Justin Simmons, they're both like cheering, but pumped up. Russ is smiling. Justin's clearly like clapping, fired up. DJ Jones is just looking the other way, completely still, flat face, just like pissed. I was like, oh, Lakers.
Yeah.
Might be
Did
Lakers.
Russ bring a Lakers fan to this?
Where's DJ Jones from?
I was trying to remember.
Off the top of my head, I don't know.
Okay.
Obviously, he played in California
Where did he
before.
go to college?
I wouldn't be surprised if there's a lot of Lakers fans in just the athlete circles, though.
Yeah.
Yep.
But good to see that was not Russ's case.
Yep.
Oh, that would have just been... There would have been nothing worse for Russ this offseason if he was, like, clearly cheering for the Lakers on the sideline.
It's weird. Like, stone-faced Russ courtside was a bad look. Happy Russ courtside was actually a good look. I was like, oh, this is a good look for him.
Why are you surprised by that? That makes total sense.
It was just weird. Like, I didn't think of it in that way. But, like, the last game he was at, he just looked like he was miserable. And I was
Right.
like, this is a bad look.
Yeah, I agree.
Then yesterday, I was like, oh, he's having a great time. He's kind of, like, he's winning me over a little bit right now.
I mean, I think I told Henry this before the show started. I think there's no downside for a professional athlete from another team like Russ, Justin Simmons, to go to those games and then just wear a really cool piece or a memorabilia for that team you're cheering on. I'm not saying you have to wear a jersey if that's not your thing. Wear a cool hat, wear a cool sweatshirt. That would just get all the fans so pumped up. So I'm not going to knock Russ for not doing it because most guys don't. But how cool would that be?
Didn't either.
Yeah, exactly. But how cool would that be if Russ or anyone was wearing a dope throwback Nuggets thing or something? That'd just be awesome.
Also, Russ is a jersey guy. Notably, wore his own jersey
Wow.
to the first day of training camp.
Yeah,
Imagine
touche.
Joker doing that. Imagine if Jokic showed up to a game just wearing his own jersey.
Well, he showed up to practice.
True.
Coming out
Imagine
of
him
his
showing up to a
monster
practice.
truck.
Yeah.
What if Russ wore that jersey to the Nuggets game court?
That would be amazing.
We were trying to decide which Bronco is the most like Jokic. It's hard
There's no
because he's really good, but if you had to
the-
pick one,
there is none, and you just go to the
Peyton
best.
Manning.
No,
No,
current Broncos.
I
It
know,
has to be
but
current.
Peyton Manning.
that's what makes the game fun, though. is that-
only athlete ever that I think is like Jokic.
So we just you just have to throw out the best player, which is Pat Surtain for the Broncos. And when you
They
think
have
of
so
Pat and
Isn't that
Jokic,
crazy?
Similarities.
exactly,
It's like,
there's nothing. Pat hasn't played offense in probably a decade. Pat and Jokic, their upbringing couldn't be any more different. Pat Surtain grew up with a Pro Bowl player as his dad growing up.
Yep.
Jokic grew up in Serbia.
Yep.
And Jokic is just this obviously dominant offensive player, and Pat Surtain just a dominant defensive player.
Yep.
There's no similarities.
What if one of these offensive linemen just like pops off? Like, what if there's like an All-Pro lineman? Because that's what it would be. Because you're just like doing
it has
everything.
to be a quarterback. The only
Yeah.
possible comp is a quarterback, and our quarterback isn't good enough.
Yeah, it would be Peyton Manning if he was still playing.
Yeah, I mean, I've been saying that since like, I don't know, Joker's third year. I'm like, this is the closest thing we'll have to Peyton Manning being in Denver again.
Yeah, it's very true, especially with the arm.
The arm is so good. All right,
An arm.
should we get to this draft class? We had our fun. Now we
Yeah, I
have to
was
be
gonna
sad.
say, man, the vibes were good. You
Yeah,
want
they
to
were.
kill it?
Yeah. It's like we had our play. Now it's time to work. We had dessert before dinner.
Damn, I hate doing that, man. I can't do that to myself.
Dessert before dinner?
Yeah, I can't do it.
I
got to
feel
be
like I haven't
looking
had an
forward
urge
to
to do it
something.
since I was like 7.
I don't have like categories for my meals. Just like, oh, I'm hungry, time to eat, and what do you want to eat?
This doesn't surprise me.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I really did. So, do you have like breakfast for dinner often? Like eggs for
Or
dinner?
you like,
often?
you like wake up, it's like 8 a.m. You're like, man, I'm hungry. A burger sounds good.
I almost well, so I went through my food phase this morning trying to figure out what to do. There was like a brief second where I was like, I might need to get to McDonald's.
Wow. Okay.
Like, need
but that's
to.
but that's still McDonald's
Yeah.
breakfast.
The thing is, I just don't really eat breakfast foods.
Breakfast is definitely overrated.
I think they're really good. I just don't know how to make them. I'm not. People say like you can't just pay people to make eggs. Like you can't get,
A lot of people do.
Yeah.
Oh, well then maybe I don't know what I'm talking about. There's like you can't. You should make your own breakfast foods at home, because they're easy to make.
So you just
Not to
listen
me.
Dinner's
haters.
number 1, lunch number 2, breakfast number 3.
Really?
Without a doubt. Without a doubt.
That's how I feel about it.
Yeah, desserts number 1, and then the rest.
Big old chicken fried steak.
I agree. Something that we all agree on: Pins and Aces, the
Oh.
official golf brand of DNVR. Pins and Aces is just incredible. If you want an awesome hat to support it, look, we've got Pins and Aces hat right there. You can get so many different colors. If someone said, Henry, never wear red again, they got plenty of non-red options over at Pins and Aces, and Ryan can probably attest for that. Big closet of Pins and Aces. And
Oh, yeah.
no red in there.
No.
Thankfully. And you want to get some Pins and Aces, use that promo code DNVR to get 15% off, not just any apparel, but if you want a club head,
Nope.
club
Nope.
cover,
Nope.
head cover.
There you go.
There we go.
Wow.
Third time. I think that was a little quicker than
Fourth.
last.
Wow.
Fourth.
Yeah.
We actually, did someone take the club covers to go and play?
I don't know what club covers are, but
Head covers. Anyways, anything you
It's
want
like
for
Dre.
golf, check them out over at pinsandaces.com and use that code DNVR for 15% off.
all right.
and get some Shady Rays.
Yeah.
It's
Shady Rays and Pins and Aces, that's a fit.
Shady Aces.
Really is.
Yeah.
I mean,
Should pitch a
that's
merger.
That's all you need to out on the golf course.
Definitely.
And golf clubs.
You do need those. And
clubs,
yeah.
yeah.
And club covers.
Club covers, yep. CC.
And maybe some Breckenridge Brewery also. Wow, you could really bring a lot of things golfing. Shady Rays, though,
We're set
great
up.
sunglasses. The weather's good again now, which is a cool thing here. I think it was over 70 when I left to come in here, which was at like 9:30.
Yeah.
So that's pretty crazy.
78 degrees today.
We've hit like full on sunglasses weather. So make sure that you have the best sunglasses, which are Shady Rays sunglasses. They're polarized. They have awesome things like if you don't like them, you can just send them back and get a new pair for free. If you lose them or break them, they'll replace them. And if you use the code DNVR, you can get 50% off 2 or more pairs of polarized sunglasses. So get on over to Shady Rays.
Boom. Okay. Well, the time has come.
No, we
So
gotta do it.
there's an old adage,
Love those.
which
Love old adages.
I don't really like old adages myself. But I know them. And
We hear this one every single year when the day after the draft, we do what responsible people do.
yeah,
We grade the draft.
grade the draft
Yeah.
blindly.
Yep, of course.
Slaps.
What are we supposed to do? Not talk about these guys for 3 years?
All right, there they are. We'll
Yeah.
see you guys in 3 years.
Not going to talk about them until you're number 3.
Yeah. But the old adage says you can't grade the draft until 3 years later. Well, guess what? It's been 3 years since the 2020 draft.
Wow.
Which means we now have the green light from all parties
Wow.
to grade this draft.
Maybe John Elway doesn't want us to grade this, though. He's like, no green light.
There's probably only one person in the world who should want us to grade this draft. And even he might not even want us to do it.
Yeah, I'm curious what you think of Jerry Jeudy,
Yeah.
because that's who you're referring to.
Yes. So quickly, let me just list the names, and then you guys can probably just decide to turn this off. 1, Jerry Jeudy. 2, K.J. Hamler. 3, Michael Ojemudia. 4, Lloyd Cushenberry. 5, McTelvin Agim. 6, Albert Okwuegbunam. 7, Justin Strand. 8, Netane Muti. 9, Tyrie Cleveland. 10, Derrek Tuszka. There's an old adage. More darts you have, the better chance you have of hitting a bullseye.
Yeah.
Did not apply
Yeah,
here.
no. What is that? 10 players?
10 picks.
5 are on the team right now.
5 are on the team,
Right now.
and only 1 is arguably good.
Yeah, I mean, how many will be on the team in 3 months from now after cut day? And of course, Jerry Jeudy, K.J. Hamler, Lloyd Cushenberry, Albert Okwuegbunam, and Justin Strand are on the team right now. 3
I think
might be on the team.
I think 2 are probably gone.
And you could probably make the case that even 3 might be
It's
gone.
possible,
And
yeah.
2 are here.
Who are the 3?
So Jerry Jeudy definitely on
Yes.
the team.
Mm-hmm.
Lloyd Cushenberry
Yes.
definitely on the team. Outside of that, Alberto, he's not a lock to be on the team. Justin
No.
Strand, not a lock to be on the
No.
team. And KJ Hamler,
Not a lot.
not a lock to be on the team.
Yep. I'd say 2 of those 3 are probably gone
Yeah.
if I was betting.
Yeah. That's rough.
Yeah. You're going into year 4 and you're at 20 to 30% of your draft class is still on the team, let alone like starting, let alone living up to their draft status.
Yep. That's rough.
I mean, I already know what my grade is for this draft class. But let's start by going through player by player, have a little discussion about who the Broncos got with these draft picks.
Should we go reverse order?
Oh.
Yeah, it's like, do you want to have... I mean, we should just maybe stay in the same order of this podcast, have a little bit of fun. And then,
So the
no,
way
we can go backwards order.
the way that I'm going to grade this, I'm not going to grade the player. I'm going to grade the pick, and there is a little difference there. Like if you're grading the player, yeah, Derrek Tuszka, didn't make the team. The
first
so
year.
so that's an F. But the pick, he was the last pick in the draft, and like, what do you really expect? So it gives a little leniency. But then also like, so when
He's
you grade
also
the player,
still in the league. and
Exactly.
plays.
yeah. When you grade the player, that's like Jerry Jeudy compared to Derrek Tuszka. It's on the same level. When you grade the pick, then obviously it's weighted extremely differently.
Yes.
Yep.
Which is actually bad for this, I think.
And are you guys going C as like an average pick?
I usually go
We
like
always
C
have to
plus.
set-
C plus is kind of my average.
Why? Just to be different?
No, I just feel like that's. I mean, people back in the day said like, yeah, C is an average grade, but then when I was in high school, B is an average.
Right.
So I just kind of split the difference.
Right.
B, it was an average?
B's average, yeah.
Based on what?
Why
Like,
was C an
the
average?
stats?
Based on what?
C was the average because there's 2 behind it and 2 in front of it.
Oh.
Yeah.
I never thought of it like that.
Then slowly but surely, teachers
got smarter?
Teachers went soft.
Yeah, exactly.
And so
Yeah,
then all of a
that's true.
sudden,
no one's
it's just-
getting smarter.
yeah.
And so then average turned out to be more like a B.
So the question is,
Nobody's getting
are we
Ds.
going soft? We need to kind of all have this similar scale.
Yeah, I mean, C feels like a bad grade. So
Exactly.
C plus for
C
average.
plus
is fine.
average.
Yeah.
Okay, there we go. There we go. So Derrek Tuszka.
It's an F.
Yeah, I mean, he was on the practice squad for a year. I think. Okay.
Yeah.
C. I mean, below average because he didn't make the roster. But what else do you expect?
I just
mean-
can't give any points to someone who never contributed to the team.
He had
I mean-
6 tackles.
Okay.
Wow.
All right.
Jose says-
that's important information.
Yeah.
Derrek Tuszka, by the way, had more sacks than Benito. I don't know if that's in his career, which obviously wouldn't be fair because Tuszka has 2 more years than Benito, but that's very tough.
All right, fine. D plus. 6 tackles.
I'll go-
D plus.
I'll give him a C.
There we go. There we go.
Wow.
Okay.
I mean, the fact that he ever saw the field at pick number 254, like he's probably beating the odds there.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Probably.
Right in that range.
I think
Maybe not.
I think
go
he's
C.
below average on terms of time spent on the team.
For a 7th round pick. I'm curious where you guys go here. Tyrie Cleveland.
That's an A to me.
That's a B to me. As a 7th round
Man,
pick.
you guys are in a good mood today.
As a 7th round pick,
Wow.
again, a special teams contributor. I think if you were to say with a 7th round pick, you're going to get a solid special teams contributor, although it was just for 2 years. That's why I'm going B, not A.
Okay. I mean, that's fair. But, I mean, if the
See-
4th to last pick of the draft, you get somebody who is one of your best special team players for a couple years, that to me, again, like most of these, you say it's probably a 40% chance he even makes the roster. At that, maybe even lower than that if you're drafted at that point. So that's why, to me, you got somebody who actually contributed with that pick. That's an A to me. You should not be finding that guy.
Yeah, I think it's exactly what you think you're finding in that round as a special teams player. So C plus for me.
Okay.
Again,
Totally fair.
Those other 2 guys in those last 4 picks are Kyle Hinton and Tay Crowder.
I mean, do you know the special teams contributors
No.
for those teams?
I think if you were
That's-
if you were in Philadelphia, I don't think you would know Tyrie Cleveland. I wouldn't
Yeah,
know Tyrie
definitely.
Cleveland. To be fair, I'm not throwing you under the bus,
If
but
you're
Yeah.
in Cleveland, you might know him.
probably not though. Yeah, I don't even think so.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like you know, like, if
You
there
know-
was a player named like Tyrie Denver, I would know him.
Probably yeah.
That is true. You-
I don't think I wouldn't know the details about him.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be like checking in on him every quarter.
See, because I would have been like during the draft, like we have to take this guy, so I would have known.
Right, but then you wouldn't have followed up necessarily. I wouldn't have followed up. I'll keep it on me.
Fair enough.
Speaking of, Sean Payton really threw Ben DiNucci under the bus this week with his comment. I just remember, speaking of Tyrie Cleveland, Nathaniel Hackett did Tyrie Cleveland more dirty than he did any player last year. Remember when he got that terrible was it throat injury or something?
right.
And it just sounded like he broke his throat essentially. And just like 2 weeks after the injury,
No, it was like 2 days.
2 days after the injury, and he was just asked a very basic question like, do you expect Tyrie Cleveland back soon? And he was like, blah blah blah. And if he just knew what he was doing, he wouldn't have ran into the player. Essentially, like he hurt him. He's stupid, and he hurt himself because of that.
Yep. Also, Brendan
brutal.
says, RK out here expecting a 7th round pick to be a Hall of Famer. I quite literally just said exactly what I expected a 7th rounder, which is a special teams contributor.
And that's what they got for 2 years.
Yeah.
I think you miss more often than not, though. So that's my difference.
You miss on getting a special
You
teams
don't even get a
contributor,
special teams guy.
I think clearly what we've decided is
But that means you get a D or an F. In my opinion.
If you don't, yeah.
If you
miss
miss.
and you don't.
Right,
yeah.
right.
If you get a special teams contributor, you get a C. If you get a
Yeah.
spot starter, you get a B. If you get a starter, you get an A.
If you get a starter in the 7th round, you get an A plus plus.
Sure.
Plus 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 plus.
You
If
can only
you,
grade
if you
so-
find a
teachers give
guy,
those out?
if you get, they
There's
should.
no over 100%.
But that's where, like, if you get a guy who's like a rotational guy, that to me is also probably an A plus. But again, that's
Yeah.
just
Okay.
I think what we decided is I'm correct on this. A B meets you two right in the middle. So thank you guys. Okay, Netane Muti.
Oh, damn. Adam Tyrie on Twitter responded to our tweet about it and said, "Crazy to think George Paton won an award for this draft class."
That is kind of crazy.
He was off though. This was John Elway's last draft.
That's right.
So yeah, he was off for 1 year. Next year we'll revisit George Paton's draft class that he did win an award for and see where it stands.
Yes. Okay. Next one is Netane Muti, which is shockingly the second best draft pick of this class. And he's not a Bronco anymore.
Wow, really?
Yeah.
Oh, man. Netane. I mean, this is a pretty average. This is a C+ because of how the Broncos handled him.
Yeah.
Well, I don't care about how the Broncos handled him.
But the Broncos didn't allow me to, see that he was better than the pick. You know what I mean? Like, I would have to use my imagination to say, okay, he actually was good.
When I grade it, so I think, okay, they're sitting in their room, and right then they say, we're taking this guy. I grade that right there. It's not like, did they develop him? Or did they cut him? It's about that moment. Was that the right decision?
No, because
that's what you do after the
draft.
draft.
Yes, that's what you do 24 hours after the draft.
We have
We're
3
taking
years
3
of
years.
information.
Well, yeah. Well, now we know if he's a good player or not.
That's why we're
Exactly.
grading it today.
Exactly.
So
totally. But I don't care
confused.
about they really screwed up. They cut him and then he should. It was still a good pick. They just fucked up by cutting him. Effed up.
No.
All-time earmuffs.
All-time
Yeah.
earmuffs.
No, because then you're not taking into account okay, so I'm not saying if the Broncos cut him last year and he were to go to the Raiders and start and be a good player, of course you take that into consideration.
It was a good pick. They just shouldn't have cut him.
Didn't do that. He
Yeah.
didn't go to the Raiders and prove that he was a great player.
Oh, definitely.
So I still don't know, and so
But we
to me,
did
I have
see
to say
him on the field.
he's kind of a backup.
We did see him on the field, though, enough to be able to evaluate what he's like on the field. And this was a 6th round pick?
It was a 5th round pick.
5th round pick.
Yep.
That to me was a guy who you could definitely count on as depth and potentially count on to start, or you could count on him to start when he had to start. So to me, this one is B.
Okay.
I'll go C.
Yeah, and I
think it's a
think
C.
C plus B minus for me.
You're right in between us again.
Yeah,
Yep.
and just because of that's kind of what you expect, maybe a little bit better than you expected.
Yeah, I think
So-
this is better than you expected.
This says 16% of offensive linemen taken in the 6th round become starters.
And he didn't.
No, he didn't.
Yeah.
But he was
He's probably
fairly close.
Yeah, he's probably in the upper percentile of how much he plays for.
Man, I wish he was here. I would say,
Yeah.
sure, still bring in Ben Powers, still do all of that if you don't believe in him. And clearly, George Paton didn't believe in him, or George Paton wouldn't have cut him, and George Paton's still here. But, the depth is just so much, he's so much better than just normal
Quinn Bailey.
offensive line depth.
Quinn Bailey's the guy he'd be.
Yeah, Quinn Bailey's more
replacing.
of tackle, though.
He played more guard last year.
I think right now, though, he's slotted to be kind of the swing tackle.
This is why firing a coach every 24 hours is so bad.
Yeah.
Because the reason Netane Muti was cut is because he wasn't a fit for what they were doing.
Yep.
Well, guess what? They did it for 3 more weeks before they fired him.
Yep. Yep. It just, and that's when you wish kind of Sean or George would have a little bit
Foresight.
more foresight. Maybe that wasn't in his control, but that's also kind of the awkward thing that we've talked about a lot is if you just not only firing coaches, but then you're also in the midst of keeping a coach, you fire the GM, and then it's like every 2 years you're firing one or the other, then they're never on the same page.
Who was even this was Vic Fangio. So
Yeah.
Netane Muti went through 3 coaches.
On the offensive side.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Tough. Okay. So, Justin Strand,
Well, 2 head coaches.
Moody's a C minus. I want to change it on C minus.
C minus.
Yeah.
Literally meeting me
Love
right.
Moody.
I'm right in the middle.
So confused. The roller coaster Hank all over.
He wasn't good. He was fine.
You had a meltdown on this show after they
Yeah,
cut
It's
him.
true.
Definitely. Because he's a good backup lineman.
C minus.
I think
Yeah.
that's when you finally called for George Paton's
So
job.
you think this was a below average 5th round pick?
Yeah.
And I stand corrected. He was
It's right there.
He was a 6th round
Okay,
pick.
below average 6th round pick.
Yeah, I think start
A
of 3
guy that was
games.
good enough for you to throw a tantrum over getting cut.
I mean, you don't do it. Like you should be on a roster.
I'm only throwing tantrums for B's. B's are higher.
Wow.
B's are higher that are cut.
We care about all 53 here. All 90.
All right.
Justin
I was
Strand,
pissed they cut Dallas
5th
Daniels,
round
too.
pick.
Special teams.
Yep, a special teams guy that you choose in the 5th, but also has been injured a decent amount.
No, I mean, it was mostly just that first year, which was really disappointing because Vic Fangio loved him.
Yeah, it really did seem like there was a role for him.
And then he broke his arm, I think. But he hasn't been injured much since then. He's just become a special teams guy. Obviously got some spot starts, and it was not great.
Yeah, this one C- for me, I think is where I'm going.
I'll just go C.
In the 5th round, I think you want a little more than that.
4% of linebackers taken in the 5th round turn out to be starters, which is kind of crazy.
That is really crazy.
Yeah. Give me the B-. Special teams matter.
Okay.
There we go.
Yeah.
Okay. So is that one of the best grades right now? Albert Okwuegbunam, 4th round pick, early 4th round pick.
This is so
And
hard.
here's what's crazy about the rest of this class. Starting with Albert, the other 6 guys we're going to talk about.
They traded up
were
for
all,
Albert, I think.
Yep, we're all early 4th round or higher. And so I really should say, starting with McTelvin Agim next, the 5 guys in this draft were all 3rd round picks or higher, which is damning for what we're going to talk about.
Yeah.
So Alberto, we'll start with him.
This is a hard one to grade because there was a time where this looked like a really good pick. And he was showing out, and like there was conversations like, is he better than Noah Fant? Like, legitimately.
Which is crazy.
Yeah.
And then last year he was a waste of a roster position.
Yep.
So like no special teams contributions, no blocking, no catches. So this is tough. I'm gonna go C+.
Just an average?
Yeah, it's like
Yeah,
he
for
had
me,
some moments, and now he's still here. But
man, an early 4th round pick, and I'm personally high on Alberto still. I think he can have a role, and in 1 year, I'm saying this is a B+ grade. But right now, 54 catches for 500 yards in 3 seasons.
wow, that's like Noah Fant's rookie season.
Yeah.
Worse potentially, or yeah, exactly that. So that's why I know he's a 4th round pick, not a 1st round pick, but still a 4th round pick. I gotta go just a C here, just a little bit below average.
Okay, I'm kind of
Not awful.
I guess I'm like buying Alberto a little more time with my C+.
And that's
It's like,
and I can change in a year too.
yeah. I'm just like, right now, if he gets cut, this drops to me to like C-. If he makes the team and contributes, it has a chance to go up to a B.
I'll give it D+. Like you've got to find a player in the 4th round who fits in. And he had a couple good games, but there's
I also think it should be noted that this was like a Drew Lock
Exactly.
pick. And when Drew Lock was on the field with Alberto, that's when he played well.
Man, and that was kind of another thing with it was like, oh man, they just got Drew's guy in the 4th too. Look what they did at Missouri.
This was literally known as the Drew Lock draft, even though he wasn't drafted in it.
It's so
It
true.
was
That's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
The Broncos have determined Drew Lock is their starter,
Yep.
and they are loading up on weapons to make his life easier.
Yeah, literally, the 6 of the first picks were receiving weapons for him.
Yes.
Or no, 3 of the first
There
6
were 3 of-
picks.
yeah,
I
I knew
meant.
what you meant.
Okay, let's dive into the day 2 and day 1 picks. First, I gotta tell you about our friends over at Illegal Pete's. Ryan, you went and had a quesadilla last week, and we were talking about it, and it just made me have to go get a quesadilla. Delicious, greasy. You fill
love
it
it.
with the beans, you fill it with the veggies, and then first time ever, I got a marg there and asked them to make it spicy. Not only the
Oh.
tahini rim, but the spicy.
Oh,
I
yeah.
think what spicy meant was just extra tequila because it was extra strong. And if you know how
They have
strong,
like their own homemade spicy tequila at the bar.
Well, then that's what it was.
Yeah.
That's what they put in it because this thing. Well, you guys know how strong Illegal Pete's Margs are.
Oh, yeah.
This was even stronger.
Let's go.
My fiance got a prickly pear house marg.
Wow.
Delicious. You cannot go wrong with any of the food or drinks over at Illegal Pete's, and like you said, incredibly affordable.
It's insane.
And if you're going to the Nuggets game, do the Ryan. Make it a. Would it be an Illegal Pete sandwich?
No, it's because that would be a bread sandwich, because that's the bread that goes on the nugget.
No,
sandwich.
but when you ask for a hamburger, you're talking about.
Hamburger isn't a sandwich.
So then what's it? If you're asking for a turkey sandwich, that's the thing in the middle.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, so you'd be asking for a nugget sandwich.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to say.
Yeah. Okay. So make Illegal Pete your bread for the next time you're going to an event.
Yes, and you save bread by going there.
And
true.
I mean, honestly, it's a great place for people who are visiting Denver. They're like, what should I get? It's a great place to go for a casual, fun dinner or a quick lunch.
It is Denver food.
Yeah.
It is.
Like that is the most Denver food there is.
And I'm proud of that.
Especially if you get the green chili.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah. Also, get yourself some beers from Breckenridge Brewery. I've got a bunch right there. They've been just staring at me in the face this entire show.
Kind of taunting you.
Yeah, I think I might pass on the beers for today, but we'll be back tomorrow.
Are you going again tomorrow?
Haven't decided yet. The thing is, the tickets got so cheap yesterday. So, like, we weren't...
Did they?
I mean, they fell, like, at least $100.
Shout out Game Time, by the way.
Shout out Game Time.
Got me in. Also gave me a little homie hookup.
Wow.
So
What is a homie hookup?
Wow.
no, I just know people at
That's
Game
when you get with the
Time.
boys and hook up.
Wow.
Drink some beers from Breckenridge Brewery. That's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can use the beer locator at breckbrew.com. It'll tell you exactly where to go to get your Breckenridge beers. So go do that.
Go do that, and let's jump into the second round of this draft where the next pick for the Broncos was... oh my gosh, my phone just died on me. The next pick in the draft was McTelvin Agim. This is... was he cut before last year? Yeah.
Yeah.
This is a D minus, and I really liked McTelvin. I mean, he was the number one recruit coming out of high school in the entire state of Arkansas.
Really?
Wow.
And the talent was just there, just inconsistencies. And sometimes you find that in college, and sometimes you can work that out of guys, sometimes you can't. And the Broncos just were not able to work with him in any way.
It's weird to grade this one because I just felt like we never saw him.
Yeah. And you probably think that there was a reason for it. But regardless, you never saw him as a third-round pick.
Kind of reminds me
Yeah,
of
this might.
who was our guy, the running back from Coastal Carolina?
Oh yeah, D'Angelo Henderson.
D'Angelo Henderson.
Yeah.
Like I'm still convinced that was a good pick.
I agree.
Just bad
Yeah.
usage.
I agree. And the one time he got the ball in his hands, it went for a
Yeah,
touchdown.
he was cooking. We were literally pounding the D'Angelo Henderson like table all year long. Nothing. Finally gets a screen pass. House call.
I wrote an article about that, and the headline got me in the most trouble I've ever been in.
Wow.
Yeah,
Oh.
yeah. Or maybe it wasn't the headline. It was
A line in there?
No, it was the way I tweeted it out. I said something like, D'Angelo Henderson made John Elway look like a genius, but Vance Joseph looked the opposite.
That's awesome.
Oh, wow.
For my young journalism self, it was not awesome.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Oh, D minus.
Yeah, I feel honestly nice giving it a D
I
minus.
know. It's so close to an F.
I'm not.
Yeah.
It's an F.
I'm not in a good mood.
I'm giving it the F. Yep.
I'm actually in a good mood, but I'm just like in a savage place in my life.
Oh, wow.
You really are.
Yeah.
You were nice
Yeah.
with Laker fans, though.
Yeah.
No, I wasn't.
He
I just saved all of my emotion for one of them.
You think he's been nice to Lakers fans?
That's what he said. He wasn't talking
Said
to
I
him last
only
night.
popped off on one.
Yeah, I got at
Have you
least.
seen him
actually-
on Twitter?
I gotta give, yeah, there you go. I gotta give credit to the Laker fan who was behind me, just because like we had like a good stream of banter the whole night.
That's fun.
Nothing mean spirited.
Yeah. Oh,
Like
wow.
he just was, knew zero ball. So just like everything he said was wrong, and then I would just tell him why it was wrong, and he would laugh it off, and
That's
fun.
kind of
Good time.
fun. Yeah.
I was mean spirited.
Hey,
Just throwing that out there.
So you're an angry drinker.
There was one guy
I
who flipped me off. He was wearing a Derek Fisher jersey. So I just said like, who the F is Fisher? And I said that over and over again. I said it like 5 times.
Even though you knew.
Oh yeah, it was a good time. That was one of my favorites.
Oh my gosh.
I have to say, like, a lot of people disagree with me on this. I am, other than violence,
Yeah, no
out
violence.
on violence, I am 100% in on making every opposing fan wish they didn't go to the game.
Exactly. It's a responsibility. You have to do. Oh yeah,
no,
they don't get to go there.
Yeah, no, I disagree.
I
They
know
don't get to
not
go
everyone
there.
agrees.
I
I'm fine with
think
it.
fun banter is fun, but making people uncomfortable, no. Let's not
Really?
be Los or Oakland. Let's not be those places
We
that
said
you
no
don't
violence.
want to go to. Yeah, but still, those people. It's just no.
They are not
don't do it.
welcome here. We make it clear they are not welcome.
And then
here.
if you see, the thing is, you start putting your arm around everyone and it's all happy.
no, I'm
then
not
you
saying
end up
that.
with half a stadium full of those
Exactly.
No,
fans.
you don't have to put your arm around them. Again, fun, or not. It doesn't have to be fun. It can be trash talk, but don't
Yeah.
make it uncomfortable.
Uncomfortable, you're making that a tough
Mean.
word for
Yeah.
me.
Mean. Don't make it mean.
I was mean.
Yeah, mean's fine.
Mean's good.
Uncomfortable,
Mean's a good thing.
I don't want anyone to feel like they're in danger.
No, never in danger. But how many times I say take
But
that
I want
out
them
as
to
I
walk
walked
away
out
being
of there?
like, man, those Nuggets fans
Oof.
are assholes.
Exactly. That is the reputation a good sports city has.
I don't know. I don't know if that makes a good sports city.
Yeah, I told you, like, I knew it wasn't necessarily
yeah.
like a 10 out of 10.
Yeah,
Everyone's going to agree
yeah,
with this take.
Yeah.
Especially with the Lakers. When for like regular season games, you do wind up at least like 1 in 3 people there as a Laker fan. It's like with them in particular, you got, I don't know. There's like all flame burning, you got to stomp it out, you know?
Yeah. No, I'm in.
Yeah.
I'm
That
in.
sounds
If it's
like violence
the
if you're
Oklahoma
stomping
City
it out.
Thunder on a Tuesday night in the regular season, like, we don't need to make
Yeah,
them
I
have a
don't-
bad
I don't
time.
care.
Just instead of turning all of your energy toward hate, just turn it on your own team and support. That's what
doesn't get us-
I would do.
I
Turn
did
it
that.
into love for your team.
I
not,
maxed out
not
both.
hate and mean for the
I
others.
stood the entire first
No.
quarter.
Oh, you're that asshole.
No, there's nobody behind
Who's
me.
the asshole?
Back of the section. Row 3.
Yeah.
Okay, so speaking of being nice, we just gave McTelvin Agim a grade. Lloyd Cushenberry. You going
Oh, sorry.
F?
No, that was just, I just want to repeat for McTelvin Agim. He deserved another F. 1.5 stars.
Lloyd. So,
This is a
do we
hard
agree
one.
that Lloyd has been a 3-year starter at center? Yes, we absolutely agree on
We
that.
agree on that.
We do agree on that.
But below average as a starter. And probably even statistically, I think many grades that are given out for him would say he's like a bottom 10, bottom 5 starter, depending on the year that you're looking at. What got you there?
Nothing. I don't know how to grade this one.
It's a tough one.
Starter is worth something. Bad starter is not.
We're talking about a 3rd round pick at the center position. I think that's key here. You can absolutely find good starting centers in the 3rd round. That's one of the positions. That and like nose tackle are, I think, the 2 easiest positions to find value later in the draft. So that does play into part of this pick, I think.
Yeah.
So then
We loved the pick, I'll tell you that.
Oh, yeah.
So maybe, other than Jerry, this was my favorite pick of the
By
draft.
far. I
He
loved
was,
him. He was supposed to be first rounder.
He was Joe Burrow's center. He was a leader. He apparently had the brains to play the center position.
He was like
just needed,
dominating like Jeffrey Simmons or
Yeah.
something at the Senior Bowl.
He just needed to get just a little stronger. But isn't that kind of given to every offensive lineman as they come into the NFL? Mm-hmm. So we did love this pick. I'm going.
I think I have to go C-.
I'm right in between C and C plus.
I've got the C+.
So an average pick.
Yeah.
And I'm
See,
gonna go
I
C.
think-
I'm gonna go C because I think for a C plus, for an average pick, you could have expected him to be an average center.
What number? Like, this was a top 100 pick?
83.
Yeah, see, you got to get good starters in top 100 picks.
40%
Especially
of
at the
3rd
center.
round offensive linemen become starters.
But center is
Center
different.
would be higher.
Yep, exactly.
And, like, he did become a starter.
Yeah. And
It's
right now
just
he
wasn't a-
is the starter
Yeah.
for a 4th straight year. Now, that doesn't make the pick better that they couldn't find a better replacement option.
Exactly.
But it's kind of just a point. Yeah, I'm going C.
I'll go C+.
My grades are too good right now.
C-.
Well, I just can't believe we're going through all of these.
The
and
thing is, the ones at the bottom are worth like
Right.
Derrek
Yeah, yeah,
Tuszka. I give him whatever, a C or
0.1%.
whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like that doesn't even factor into the final grade. It would if you got a hit.
Well, I did say all of that just a little too early because Michael Ojemudia is who we're talking about next. Does this ring any bells? 3rd round corner from Iowa.
It does.
Wow.
Oh, Riley Moss. 3rd round corner from Iowa this year. Hope it's a different path.
Yeah, I do too. 3rd round corner in general has been very unkind to the Broncos.
Especially John, man. John Elway
Damari
just swung and
Mathis, though,
missed.
could be the turnaround.
Yep.
4th round.
He was 4th?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, good job.
Feels like a 3rd round
Yeah,
because
he
he's
does.
played way better than all the 3rd rounders.
It's true. Nothing can be as bad as Brendan Langley.
Oh, man. Oh, wow. I can't believe that was a draft pick.
Yep.
They just had to teach him how to go backwards.
No, he didn't want to go backwards.
He felt
that was the
uncomfortable
issue.
going
He
backwards.
couldn't
That's
be
what you
taught
teach him.
how to go backwards. He didn't want to.
Feels like something you maybe should have uncovered in the pre-draft process of your 3rd round pick.
Hey, being a cornerback, can you move backwards?
Could you imagine like having to, after that went wrong, having to be like ask Jerry Jeudy in the draft process, like, do you prefer running straight or would you rather go backward? And Jerry's like, is this a trick question? John's like, no, I got burned by the other guy I drafted.
I'll never forget at Oakland at the time. I think it was like 3rd and 15 or something. Broncos needed to stop. Trevor Siemian had led like a little comeback. Cody Latimer had a touchdown or something. And they got the ball back. They had a chance to win. Vance? Probably would have been Vance at the time. Or Joe Woods. I guess they were together. Called Zero Blitz.
Yep.
Left Brendan Langley on an island with like Michael Crabtree.
Yep.
And
Over.
Game over.
Wasn't this, speaking of Michael Crabtree, a Keep Talib game?
It was.
So he was
that's
ejected,
why
and
Brendan
that's why Brendan
Langley
Langley
was
was
on
in.
Michael Crabtree.
Yes. Yeah, so just tough all the way around. That's kind of when things really started to fall apart.
Yeah.
Like, really come off the wheels. So
I'll never forget the vibe in that stadium. Talk about mean-spirited.
yeah.
That I actually thought, like, this is a dangerous place to be right now.
When the players on the field are fighting,
Yes.
what's that going to mean for the crowd?
When that just, like, does something to the crowd who was already,
yeah, just ready to go.
That was crazy, man. The sound that was reverberating through the stadium as Aqib Talib and Michael Crabtree were fighting on the field, like helmets are flying, was like, it's like nothing I've ever seen.
And you're in the worst press box in the country.
Yeah, terrible press box.
Yeah, a terrible stadium. Okay, this is an F for me. Michael Ojemudia did start, did play a little bit. I think he as a player is probably a little better than an F, but he didn't even make it to his 3rd season as a 3rd round pick.
Yep.
Injuries a little bit, but I mean, you get a 3rd round pick that doesn't make it to year 3, F.
He didn't make it to year 3.
He got cut during the season. Wait, this is 2021, 22. He didn't make it through year 3.
So he made it 2.5 years.
I think he might have been IR to start the year.
Man, he didn't even he did make it through. He was just so irrelevant last year.
He was. I think
he was. He had a good off season. Last year. You're right.
Yep.
You're right.
Good off season. That's right.
Yeah. Okay. Then I'll go D-.
If you want,
I'll give him the McTelvin. I'll give him the McTelvin Agim.
He had like a couple good moments as a starter.
How about this though? After his rookie year, when he started 11 games, and I think this is why people are a little just hesitant on Damari Mathis, because Ojemudia, he did flash in his rookie
because
year.
the numbers are identical.
He started 11 games his rookie year, played in 16 games.
Yep.
After that, he started 1 game, his 2nd and 3rd year before the Broncos got
You know who else played in 16 games as a rookie and started 11?
Damari.
Yeah, you know who had 65 tackles? I think OJ had 67. 62. Like, all this stuff is like 1 tackle for loss. Difference is Ojemudia had 4 forced fumbles, which is kind of crazy.
That is wild. And to me, though, it's like taking a quarterback from Alabama or something. Or if you identify like, oh, this school's had issues with a certain position, you can't take him anymore. Just because he has similar stats doesn't mean he's going to be the same guy. So I'm not worried about Damari. But that's why some people are, is because of this comp.
7 pass breakups for Damari, 6 for Ojemudia. No picks for either. Like the AV, the value from Football Reference, 4 for each.
See, I'm not buying what you're putting down right now.
No, I think Damari's way better. But those are the numbers.
So what's your grade?
It's a C-
D.
for me.
C-.
Yeah.
That's nice.
I kind of disagree with the assessment. Just like his injuries kind of derailed him. He actually looked good in moments as a rookie. Contributed on special teams when he wasn't a starter.
3rd round pick.
I know. I'm the injury's doing some heavy lifting. But.
It's a D+ for me. It's a D+.
Okay. K.J. Hamler, 2nd round pick.
Okay, so first and foremost, I think it's important to remember how I felt about this pick afterwards, which was like I was pretty hyped about it. It's also important to remember the people who didn't like it, who were like, what are you doing? You just drafted a wide receiver. Now you're drafting another speed wide receiver. When there's like, you have huge offensive line problems, and there were several solid offensive linemen on the board at this point.
Yeah, of course.
So they were right. I was wrong. And this has not worked out in any way, shape, or form. But I have to allow injuries because he wasn't an injury-prone guy coming out.
Not true. He was but he was injured
at the
combine,
yes,
so he couldn't run the 40. So it was a hamstring injury. It wasn't like a broken finger where you're like, okay, I can overlook that kind of a fluke thing. It was what his game is built on. And I understand you're saying like it's not like he had so many injuries throughout college.
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
But this was a red flag.
Well, and a lot of people think that was the reason why he fell to the 2nd round. So that was kind of their way of saying that, hey, if that was his 3rd hamstring injury that we knew about, as far as I know, I think it was his 1st. And, then you're just like, you took a risk that didn't pay off. I don't really think a guy having a hamstring injury at the combine is like, take him off your board because he's not.
Ryan, like that's what his game is built on, though.
I know, but it's not like all hamstring injuries become nagging hamstring injuries forever.
No, but that's why and also this is not at KJ. This is about, we're grading the pick, not the player, but injuries do come into effect, not right when you take them, but 3 years after that. So I do think, I'm curious how you're going to grade him if you're kind of weighing injuries.
I know, it's almost like an incomplete.
It's tough.
Which is not fair. I can't do that. So
right.
It's going to be a D+.
Yeah, I think I'm at a D. I mean, you look through.
I'm at a D as well.
Yeah, I mean, to me, he's probably like the 5th least productive 2nd round pick, which is like clear bottom. Maybe you could maybe make the case it's lower. The difference is a lot of those guys are just bad at football. And if you were to say which one of those guys do you want on your team right now, it's like, well, maybe KJ's healthy and it finally works out. So
can we just name some of the players that went around him?
Next pick was Marlon Davidson, who I think is out of the league. Yeah, out of the league. Darrell Taylor. He actually has 16 sacks. That's pretty good. Damn. Chase Claypool was after. He had the one big year, but Jalen Johnson, Trayvon Diggs is there.
Cam Akers. Pick out of him too.
Yeah,
but even 2nd round pick.
Jalen Hurts is behind him.
Yeah, but also you look in front. Antoine Winfield, there's a good player. Grant Delpit. I don't know if we know on him yet. Cole Kmet didn't really do much. Visca didn't do all that. He's done more, but if you were to say totally healthy, you expect KJ more than that.
Okay, well,
Ross Blacklock.
Let me, because injuries certainly are fair and certainly part of his story, but in the past 2 years, KJ has played in 10 total games. And again, this is not just all against KJ. There's quarterback play. There's the way you draw it up. 10 total games. He has 12 catches. 12 catches in 10. That's when he's healthy, or quote healthy enough.
When he's on the field,
healthy enough to be out there. 12 catches for just over 200 yards, no touchdowns. So his yards per catch, it's 24 yards per catch. But for a 2nd round pick, 1 catch a game for 24 yards, no touchdowns. That is just the facts.
Yeah,
for sure,
definitely. I still think. I don't know. I think they were trying to protect him last year, and you just got to let him play. Like the usage. I mean,
they're trying to protect him by having him be the lead blocker on runs.
There was that too.
He was good at that.
I'd be curious what like the yards per route run was. I guess I can actually pull that up because they're just he has given very important. Like he has won games.
In the comments, Broncos Stampede is saying Drew Lock made KJ Hamler bust. No.
No,
he didn't.
Yeah, no,
KJ Hamler never played.
Yeah,
And when he did, Drew got him the ball. Actually, didn't he have 2 touchdowns against the Panthers in a win?
He did.
Yeah.
It was like 2 touchdowns on 4 catches or was it only on 2 catches?
It was something like that. It has nothing, in my opinion, had nothing to do with quarterback play.
Here we go. That
just
game.
Hackett, yeah.
It just wasn't.
It wasn't just Hackett though. It wasn't Hackett.
Well,
Hackett was here for
it's
one
the
of his 3
injuries.
years.
It's the injuries.
Well, yeah, I mean,
that's
it's
why
obvious.
KJ Hamler was-
Obviously, it's the injuries, but in terms of like last year not being as productive, that's just Hackett not putting him on the field.
Okay, but what about the first 2 years before that? When he played
was hurt.
when he played in 3 games and had 5 catches. I mean, it's not like he had like great productivity during then. But yeah, 3 targets in that Panthers game, 2 catches, 86 yards, 2 touchdowns.
Sick.
Yeah,
We've seen the flashes of like what he could be if he was healthy.
Even
and so
last
that's why
year-
it's so hard for me to grade. Is just like I'm not saying KJ Hamler can't play because I think he really can.
He can. He
but
can play.
he can't get on the field.
But we're all kind of at the same spot. I mean,
Exactly.
we all gave him a D.
Yeah.
You
Or
just-
we gave him a D
you-
plus or something.
Like I said, it would be incomplete for me if I could really give that grade because I don't really blame the front office for drafting him.
Yeah.
So I'm really happy that you're saying incomplete and that you can't give incomplete because let's move on to Jerry Jeudy, the 15th overall pick in this draft, the 2nd wide receiver drafted in what was viewed as like the best wide receiver class of anyone's memory. And for Jerry Jeudy,
Better than the guy that got picked in front of him.
he is. He's worse than the 2 guys picked right after him, or was
CD was really close.
CD was
and
17.
Jefferson was
was like 22 or something like that. But where the Philadelphia
There was
guy?
also,
Why can't I think of him?
Rager.
Jalen
Rager. Was he picked above? Yeah, he was picked 1 spot above Jefferson.
Yeah.
Because isn't that when the Vikings were cheering? So anyways, 2 of the 3 guys behind Jerry are better than Jerry right now. But getting to this incomplete, and again, I'm really happy you said that because honestly, that's where Jerry Jeudy's grade is right now. But you can't do that 3 years after. That's why you wait until 3 years. And so I think wanting to go incomplete with Jerry is not a good thing when I view this because you look at Henry Ruggs, obviously, an F. I mean, you know what he is. CeeDee Lamb, an A in this draft if I was grading him. Justin Jefferson, an A+. You know what these guys, Jalen Rager, an F. They cut him before his 3rd year and he was a 1st-round pick. Yeah. You know what these guys are. So the fact that when we talk about Jerry Jeudy, we say, man, he's been really productive in spurts. Well, that's not a good thing when you're talking about 3 years out after drafting him. We still talk about his potential, but he still does have good things about him. So he really gets an incomplete, but that you can't do that here. So that's why I'm going for this B-, C+. I'm right around pretty much average. Man, I'll go C+.
Okay.
Right now he's average. No 1,000-yard seasons for the 2nd wide receiver picked.
I'm having such a hard time with the comparison of what you expect versus what he's delivered. Because I'm pretty sure if you draft a wide receiver at 15, you should expect them to be your bona fide number 1.
Without a doubt.
By year 2? Probably.
Yes.
Does it matter that he was 22 in year 2?
No.
I don't think so.
No.
Like he just turned 24.
I don't think so.
It definitely matters in the grand scheme of things, but I don't know if it can matter for this grade. I have such a hard time with this because Jerry Jeudy is a good player. He is, for sure. But not until, the last 4 weeks of the season was he ever the number 1 wide receiver. Now,
Right.
number 1 is kind of it's kind of a lame term. I don't know if we should even use it.
Devontae Smith isn't the number 1 receiver.
Right, exactly. And that's why it's hard to even.
But
what does
just
that
look up
mean?
Devontae Smith's stats, though.
Yeah, put up bigger
his
numbers for
production.
sure.
And Devontae Smith
that's
is
the
putting
point.
up number 1 numbers.
Yeah.
Jerry is still not. And he hasn't. He hasn't had a number 1 season yet.
I think he has. I think last year was number 1.
No. Number.
He's 20. He's 23rd in receiving. That's exactly what you expect. He's the most average number 1 receiver there is.
That's below average.
Well, but
Yeah.
but you look in front and there's like a tight end in front of him, and then there's like AJ Brown and Devontae Smith in front of him. Like there's a few doubles up there.
You got to have 1,000 yards
Yes,
for me
yes,
to,
yes,
to me to say
yes.
you have number 1.
972 though.
It's close.
Like, it's basically the same thing.
It is close, but it's not.
But basically is.
1,000 yards is thrown out all the time as like, oh, this guy has it. Jerry does not have that.
No, it's all arbitrary, though.
But
also,
again,
it's a 28-yard difference.
Jerry, I think, yes, he can become that.
Yes.
He can become that. But for me, it's still too much on he can become this.
I am the highest. I think I'm in the upper 1 percentile of how high I am on Jerry Jeudy. Like, I still believe he can be that guy. He just hasn't done it yet. So, for me, this is a B. It is a B pick so far. And I have to admit that I am projecting a little bit. Now, this can still become an A, in my opinion. But it's... I don't know. It's so hard. Because I would understand if you said this is a below average pick so far.
Yeah. Yeah.
But like I'm not willing to do that. He's far and away the best player in this class from the Broncos.
But you can't grade it like that.
I know. So and we literally gave him offensive MVP last year.
Shows you.
Which, not a high bar, but this is the weirdest one to grade by far because he's a good player who hasn't lived up to expectations yet.
Mm-hmm.
Henry?
I think I'm a B-. Like, I think you're getting basically what you expect from the 15th overall pick.
Ooh, I disagree. I think if you take a wide receiver in the top half of the first round,
I mean, it's the middle of the first round.
It's the top half.
But then you're thinking like, oh, it's.
Well, you just said that
He's
28
like
yards was
5.
arbitrary, and you should just give it to him.
Well, I'm saying top half. You think like, what's average top half? If you say top half, people don't expect.
He was the 15th pick. He was the top half of the first round.
But 90% of the players you're comparing him to were drafted earlier than him.
It's the top half of the first round.
It is.
What do you mean 90% of the players you're comparing?
Well, because they're drafted like 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9,
But
8,
we're comparing him to CeeDee Lamb and
yes,
Justin
and then so that's what I was going to
Jefferson.
add on top of that was then just in the 7 picks after him, there are 2 bona fide stars, and there's one guy that is the best receiver in the NFL. So it's not like, well, there were no good receivers that you could choose from, and that kind of does come into factor. Now, obviously, situations are different, yes, but to me, right now, Jerry is that average, that C+, and he could become an A. If he goes out and balls this year under Sean Payton and Russ gets him the ball and is able to fix that, he could also fall below an average pick if for another year in a row he's putting up 800-900 yards.
Yeah, and I still think this is probably exactly what you expect from the 15th overall pick. Like, I think you hope for Justin Jefferson, but you can't expect Justin Jefferson production. Like, I think he's hit expectations exactly.
I disagree.
Really?
I do too.
Strongly.
I think you hope for 1,000 yards.
No.
I don't think you can expect it. Like, if you just look through every
Also,
first-round pick, I bet he's dead in the middle. Oh, like the last 10 years of first-round receivers.
You'd have to pull that up to prove
And
it.
also
I think you're wrong.
do top half. Do like.
But again, now you're comparing 90% of them
Also,
are picked
10
before
years
him.
I think is a little bit too far to go back
Right.
just because the passing has gone up so much in the last 5 or 6.
But, I mean, in terms of sample size, you'd take the entire first round because he's dead middle. Half in front, half below.
No, because I also think how many wide receivers are going top 10?
I mean, you could definitely make the argument that you should take just top 15 picks. But then I understand that you're saying...
Well, you'd expect him to be at the bottom of that.
So, no, what you should actually do
Right,
is
that'd be expectation.
take from 10 to 20, 10 to 19 is if you really want to get the best sample size, that's what you do because there's no wide receivers going in the top 10. I mean, how many receivers have gone in the top 10 in the past 5 years, 10 years?
Devontae Smith, I think, went 9.
Yeah.
One? Can we think of others?
Yeah, there's a few.
In the past 10 years, Julio Jones obviously did that, but that was 20 years ago.
I think Kevin White was a top 10 pick.
Yeah.
He was. Now, that wasn't 5 years ago, but that was in that 10-year window.
Yeah.
But, I mean, that just doesn't happen. It's not a position where they go top 10.
Which is
so
weird.
I actually think that it's extremely fair to say it
I
was
bet
the
that's
top
going
half
to
of the draft.
change.
What about this year?
This past year?
Yeah.
There were no good receivers. That's why everybody was trying to trade for Jerry.
Yeah, the first receiver went at 19, I think, to
Yeah.
the Seahawks.
Wow.
That's another one where you compare it to, like, if he had a hamstring issue, would he have been a better pick for the Broncos than Marvin Mims? If we go back to the KJ thing, because it's the same
Henry
scenario.
Ruggs, top 10.
No, he was, wasn't he 11?
Yeah, he
I
was.
thought he was 9.
Oh.
I think he's either 10 or 11. That's something we could let. Jamar Chase. That's one right there.
Yeah.
He's lived up.
He certainly has. Let us know in the comment section. Do you agree with Henry thinking that Jerry Jeudy has lived up to expectations, or are you kind of along Ryan and I where he hasn't?
Really?
Wow. Yeah.
He's got to be dead average.
Well, let's hear it in the comment section. And when you guys are responding, check out Game Time. You want to go to the Nuggets game? I wonder what the prices in LA are. Probably absurd. But remember the Minnesota games we were looking on Game Time, and it's like you could actually go into that game, buy a plane ticket, and get into that game for cheaper than going to the game here. That was the same thing with Phoenix at times. Probably actually not the case in LA, but I know we do have a lot of listeners in LA, and hopefully that means they're Broncos Nuggets fans, not Broncos Lakers fans. So if you want to go to the game, check out Game Time. Use that code DNVR. But also, if you just want to go to concerts, events, other sporting events around the country, check out our friends over at Game Time. Rockies are playing, shockingly enough. A little breaking news there. If you want to go to a Rockies game for the rooftop, for some fun outside bar atmosphere, check out Game Time. Use that promo code DNVR for $20 off. We all use it. So should you.
Hell yeah. I bought my tickets at 3 o'clock yesterday. I felt like that was actually the sweet spot.
Okay.
I feel like I'm becoming a Game Time expert.
Yeah.
I can maybe get paid to be a consultant, a Game Time consultant.
And then they would pay you in tickets to games?
No, the person who wants tickets pays me a small fee to let them to peruse Game Time all day and tell them when to pounce.
Well, I might need you to be my consultant. I might need to hire you.
Yeah, I'll do it for anyone if they bring me to the game. It's not a good deal for them though.
Yeah, that would be a great deal for you.
All right.
Got some breaking news.
Ooh.
Uh-oh.
We know the Broncos preseason schedule.
Oh, let's go.
Do you want to know how ruined your August is going to be on the weekends by the Broncos?
It's not all night games?
It's not as bad at excuse me, as
Jesus.
bad as it's been.
Okay?
I think I'm dying. It's not as bad as it's been, but Ryan, it's bad.
Yeah.
So our Friday night, August 11th, is ruined at Arizona, 7 p.m. game.
Okay.
That's tough.
I honestly prefer a Friday night.
Okay. Well then you won't like this one. The next week, Saturday night, 5:30 p.m. That's some hope. That's some hope.
This is falling great so far.
Okay, the next week at home, Rams, Saturday, 7 p.m.
Yeah, that's bad as it gets.
Yeah, it is. It is. We just suffer through that, and then we get the regular season.
I'm calling that a dub.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Why can't we get an 11 a.m. game?
I don't know. Do you guys like road trips? Like driving places?
Not really.
No, if I can fly, why would I?
I love road trips.
Like how far? Like far road trips? Like to Arizona?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Wow.
We just take off on the car on Wednesday.
Man, that one's tough.
It's 13 hours.
Yeah, that's tough.
So
Prime.
I was able to find it's 2000 to 2020, so that's a little bit skewed.
Yeah, it's not close at all.
But 51% of first-round receivers never had a 1,000-yard season. 19% had one.
So Jerry's in the 51%.
Yeah, but I mean, he'd probably be toward the top. And this is career long. So if he gets one at some point by getting another 28 yards.
He's
But
going
also-
to.
But also the past 20 years is not a fair sample size.
But it's the best I could find so far.
Yeah.
So I
What
think,
I'm saying
but again,
is that that's not even fair to throw out.
okay.
Though.
Yeah, I mean,
How much did the game
interesting.
change from 2000 to 2010 compared to 2010 to 2015 and then 2015 to now?
Yeah, it's
I mean,
crazy.
It's so different.
Crazy. But it is interesting. So he would be what we're seeing is he would have been average in that sample.
Yeah.
So he's probably going to fall below it
Right.
as the sample shrinks.
Yep. And just, again, the other guys in that first round aren't, I guess Jerry falls right in between them.
Yeah. It's a weird, like I said, it's a weird place. I love Jerry, but he has not lived up to expectations yet.
So average passing yards last year, 218. 2000, it's 207. 206.9. So 12 more per game for a quarterback.
Well, you have to remember that Russell Wilson was dragging that down a lot.
That is true.
We got to get into some questions before we get out of here. And we have two. One from the Count says, let me clear up what I think about the Visor's statement about Javonte Williams. He said, quote, our current starter, when referring to him. I can't believe that someone as calculated as the Sean would use that term to describe a player where there wasn't a good bit of doubt about their availability. Look for the brass to make a move on June 1 and don't be surprised. Also, and perhaps more importantly, now that there is no longer any Bachelor talk on the show, I feel you all need a communal program to discuss. I'm yearning for Hank's takes on popular culture. Love the Count.
Wow. People don't say that often. I've been watching, so Ken Burns, you know Ken Burns? He makes documentaries.
Yeah.
Yeah. He, there's like a 5-part Civil War documentary. They like came out in 1990, but they remastered it.
Oh, God.
Henry, this is not popular culture talk.
And that's why I don't. Again, I know when not to say things.
I can't think.
I haven't been talking about.
I don't think you know when to not say things.
Documentary that was made in 1990 about a war.
Yeah. Well, there you go.
That scores us 0 out of 10 for me on the interest level.
They're like 2.5-hour episodes, and I've just been cruising.
I don't mind a good documentary, but documentaries took a turn for the better in the 2000s.
So, what would be a good communal show for us? We don't have to commit, but just like throw some. Well, I don't really watch shows. So I need some guidance.
I don't watch shows either.
I watch
Ted Lasso?
my own things.
You watch your own things. Damn, the Count. I'm sorry. I guess we bonded over The Bachelor, and then that's it.
The Bachelor was an elite time on the podcast.
Yeah.
It was. Damn, we've really gone downhill, haven't we?
Yep.
How about this last comment coming in from Asking for a Friend? And here's the comment. Where could one find the Madden League podcast?
Oh, God. I don't know if I want to turn. No, I'm just kidding. I believe it's called the All Madden Podcast, all MADN. So you can just search that.
As a DNVR.
Anywhere you listen to podcasts.
Yeah, there we go.
Free plug for the boys.
There we go. I absolutely love it. And I love this pod. Love this pod.
I love this pod too. All right.
That's
all
it.
we got. No super chats? No. All right. Appreciate you guys for tuning in. We will catch you tomorrow.